So this is about 5 months ago. I'm in a hotel in Turkey. So I'm on my summer holiday, my summer break. And I'm in the breakfast area. So I'm sitting across my parents on the table and I've got my food. And I'm a bit of a weirdo. Like, I think everyone does this, but I've got like a YouTube video up. I'm watching videos on my phone. And honestly, the reason I was doing it is there's a certain conversation that I've been avoiding. I can kind of feel the tension building up as I'm focused on my screen. And I can see like in the corner of my eye that my parents are like fighting to hold back the conversation. I can tell that they want to bring it up again. But the reason they're not talking about it is because we've had these conversations in the past, and the last time we had it, honestly, like, it started a huge argument and we literally didn't speak for days, and we were living in the same house, but it felt like we were strangers. So they're not bringing it up and the tension's growing and growing, and it gets so much that quite literally, like, I can't concentrate on this fucking video that I'm watching. I'm a bit of a nerd. It was a Jordan Peterson podcast, and I can't even concentrate on what the motherfucker is saying. So I turn it off, I take out my AirPods, I put it on the table, and there's like this awkward silence that fills the room. And then I hear my parents sigh and call my name. The first time they say it, I pretend to ignore it. I'm kind of just like looking out the window. There's a beautiful view on my left. There's a window right there, and I'm just kind of like pretending that I didn't hear it. And then they call me again and I look their way. I'm thinking, like, surely you don't ask the question. We both know how this conversation's gonna end. Please don't ask it. And they ask it. They say, how did you do for your A-levels? So if you're not from the UK, A-levels are the exams that you do when you're around 18 years old. So graduating from college. So our college in the UK is 18 years old. And the academic year's just finished, so that's why I'm on holiday. And they're asking how those exams went, which is a completely valid question. But we've been through this over 30 times in the past. Because while for most people, these exams, they're so pivotal part in their life, I will be completely honest, I didn't give a shit. And I promise you, this isn't me like coping and saying that, oh, I'm a bit of a retard, that's why I couldn't do good in exams, and I actually don't care. It's like, I don't care women don't love me, I don't care that I'm lonely, like, I don't care about exams. It's like, it's not me not caring because I was a stupid kid. Like, I knew that I would have done well if I tried. Like, even when I was a kid, I was known as like a fucking child prodigy. Like, I would be getting like all 9s and 8s, so A stars and A's in like high school and stuff, so I knew that I could do well if I wanted to. But really and truly, the reason I didn't care, I was making like 10K a month at the time. Like I said, this was when I was in the groove of things. Like, I was editing for a while now. It was only 5 months ago. And even like on this trip, so we went holiday, I think it was only for like 5 days. Within 3 of those days, I made over $900. Like, no, it wasn't dollars, it was pounds. I made over 900 pounds, which was about maybe 1,100 USD. So I made that in 3 days while I was on holiday working on my laptop. It's like this whole fucking holiday that we're on is pretty much paid off anyways. So me making this money at the time, I'm thinking, like, I knew from literally over a year now that I'm gonna pursue entrepreneurship. This whole editing thing, it's working. Like, why would I even consider uni? And I didn't tell them all of this because honestly, like, it feels kind of egotistical. I'm not gonna be like telling my parents, oh, but I make more money than you. I think that's a dickhead move to make. So I didn't say any of that. But they continue asking the question, like, oh, so how do you think you did? When are they coming out? And can you like check them now? Because apparently their UK releases them all at the same time. And can you check your email and stuff? So I kind of tell them, like, yeah, that's a good idea. I pick my phone back up, the same phone that I was watching YouTube on. I go on my school email on Outlook and I'm scrolling through. In fact, I refresh the page just to double check, and I look at them and I say, like, oh no, it hasn't come through yet. They're like, oh, fair enough, I'm sure like they'll give it mail at home. And then I'm like, yeah, they'll give the mail at home, I'm 100% sure. And so for everyone else, like, cause I'm on holiday, I'm not going to be able to do this, but usually you would go into your school and then they'd give you the envelope with your exam results. But if you are on holiday, if you aren't in the country, you're not able to pick it up physically, then they'll be able to like mail it to your house. But if I'm being honest, I lied. I checked my phone, I went on that email and I told my parents that it didn't come through, but the first email that came up was from my college saying the exact results that I got. But the reason I lied in the time, I like kind of explained my thought pattern. I knew that if I did bad, like if I failed, if I like did horrible, I knew that for the next 2 days I wasn't gonna hear the end of it. Because while I'm on holiday, you're gonna ruin my holiday. You're gonna tell me about, oh, editing's ruined your life, you should have focused more, look, how's your life gonna go? Like, even if I did like half decent, because I'm Asian, like, my parents are too ruthless, man. So on one side I was kind of scared that, oh, if I do bad then my parents are gonna shout at me and stuff. But if I'm being honest, most of my fear, most of the reason why I lied, it was for the exact opposite reason. Because I don't think a lot of people will relate to this, but perhaps you watching, if you watch my videos, maybe you will. I was actually more scared that I'd do good. I was scared that I would do well in my A-levels and then my parents would have even more reason for me to go to university. Up to this point, it's been over a year that I've decided that I was going to pursue entrepreneurship. I've been doing this editing thing for about 3 years and it's like, it picked up. I'm working with like large creators. I'm making more money than I know what to do with. I've had multiple 10K months. Like, I've literally applied to university and stuff. So the way it works in the UK is you apply to university, you do your exams, and then after you get like the offers. So they say, oh, we'll accept you if you get this grade, we'll accept you if you get that grade, and then you get your results. So I had already applied to university, and honestly, I did it so my parents would stop asking me. I knew I wasn't gonna go, but I was so confident at this point that I was going to pursue entrepreneurship. I still to this day don't know if I got into university. Like, I've applied, and normally you can retract your application. I didn't even retract it. I quite literally to this day have not opened the email telling me whether I've gotten accepted or not. And I sit here today telling you that I am 18 years old. I'm turning 19 in a week, so better wish me happy birthday, bitch. But I don't have a university like fucking degree. I don't go to university. I don't have what people call like a normal job. In fact, I would not even consider this work. The shit I do now, I genuinely love. I'm working with creators I genuinely care for. I'm working on content, but I actually fuck with like the same desk that I'm sitting at now. This setup that I work at is genuinely like my dream gaming setup. When I used to play Fortnite or Minecraft or whatever back then, this is the setup I used to like see on those setup tours, and I used to be so jealous of. I sit today at my dream setup, working on videos I love, and doing something that I considered a hobby. Like, I'm basically doing that thing where people say, oh, follow your passions, do what you love for like work. It's like I have achieved that. All of this started when I edited my first paid video in February 2021. That's nearly 3 years ago, and it was for $5. I used to post for my own Fortnite montages at the time, these like clips where, oh, you get so many kills and you sync it up with the music. I used to post my own, and this random guy hit me up on Discord asking if he could do it, and I was 16 at the time, so I gave the biggest number that I could think of. He offered me $5. I was like, fuck yeah, I will take all of that $5. We decided on half first, half after, and he paid me the $2.50. I got to work, downloaded all the clips, spent an entire week, pretty much no rest, no sleep. Every single day I'd come back from school, edit this video, and it was a good ass video for me at the time. I hand him the final file in a Google Drive folder. He watches it. I ask him, oh bro, like when can I get my second $2.50? Like, I need my $5 please. Like, he told me he didn't want to pay it and he's not happy with the video. I'm pretty sure he actually ended up posting the video anyway, so fuck you. Like, I still remember your name, YouTube Jebs. Fuck you, bro. I'm never gonna forget that. I'm still waiting for my $2.50, bro. But like, I got scammed for my first video, and of course it was a humbling first start, but fast forward to today, and I'm happy to say, like, I work with the largest channels in the world. I'm working with these guys with 20, 30, some, I think I've worked with like a 40 million subscriber channel as well. These guys paying over $1,000, not per month, but per video. I'm able to say that I quite literally have access to the largest people in the space. Like, if you wanted me to talk to a Sidemen, I can go through Sidemen's like manager. Like, Victor, I fuck with you boys. Like, I basically know all the largest YouTubers now. I've been in calls with like Mr. Beast's manager, like these huge channels with 20 million subscribers, and they're just talking about stuff, and I'm just in conversations with them. And the reason I share what I share is, honestly, I think a few people will take what I say as egotistical, or they'll say, oh, this motherfucker just bragging, this bad boy thinks he's bigger than he actually is. But I think it's important that I tell you what I've achieved, so you have a reason to follow me or decide not to follow me. If you want what I have and you can kind of relate to me, then I want to be able to help you achieve a similar thing. Because the truth is, I started like a lot of editors, and throughout my journey, my parents did not want me to do this. Like, if I told you stories about relationship with my parents because of editing, like, you would fucking feel bad for me. This isn't even a weird pity thing now that I think about it. Like, genuinely, bro, I've been like fucking beat by my dad. Like, let me tell you a few stories. Like, I would genuinely be like editing in my room, and imagine late at night, so you're staying up to work on a video, maybe you're only getting paid like 10-20 bucks for it, but you're staying late up at night, so it's a Wednesday evening, it's turning midnight, and you're still up on your laptop. The room's completely dark, you're literally just illuminated by the screen, and then you hear footsteps coming up the stairs. Now your dad asks you what you're doing, and you tell him, oh, I'm just working on something, and he starts fucking shouting. He's shouting about you not being able to wake up for school the next day, you wasting your life, you ruining your entire health. And it's like, maybe some of them were valid points, but I've genuinely been fucking beat by my dad for staying up late editing. And of course, it's like, I'm grateful for it, because I fixed like the relationship with my parents now. Like, my parents even look back at those old days when they used to hate me editing, and now they say like, oh, I'm glad that you didn't stop, like, I'm glad you went against it. But genuinely, like, I had to like edit while hiding it. So I remember when I'd be in my room and I'd be doing like schoolwork, so this is while I was in college and stuff, and you don't know how fast I got at alt tabbing. But alt tabbing, if you don't know what it is, if you click alt and tab together on a Windows PC, it basically switches the tab instantly. So I would have my Google Chrome open, like my homework open, and then Premiere Pro editing a video. The second I'd hear someone come up to this, fucking alt tab back in. And there were a few times I got caught, and my dad beat the shit out of me. I've had days where I'll stay up so late editing, like I'll do an all-nighter, and I'm so tired by the morning that I literally fall asleep in the car, and I'll refuse to get out because I physically cannot like stand. I have to sleep. And I'd miss days where I'd just stay in bed because I had an all-nighter. It's like, I've had so many arguments because of these things. But you can imagine, even like if you were my parents, you can imagine like you wouldn't want your kid to live that way. So when I told my parents that I'd want to edit, and oh, this is my work, like this is something I really like, and mom, I can make a lot of money from it. Do you think they believed me? And of course, I'm telling you all of these things, but the older I get and the more I've spoken to my parents about these topics, because I talk about these things openly with them, the more I realize that they honestly did it completely out of love. Like, I know that sounds weird. It's like, oh, this guy just got beat his ass beat by his parents and he's saying, oh, I'm sure they love me. Like, he's fucking gaslighting himself. But genuinely, like, just see it from their perspective. I think this is something that will really serve you. If you have parents that don't support your editing career, or even if there's like a slight hint of them not supporting you, you gotta realize that for their entire life, they've seen every single person grow up. The people around them, the other people that they look up to, or maybe even people that wasted their entire life, and they see some trends, let's say. They see that there's a certain path that a lot of people took in order for them to live a prosperous life where they can take care of their family. And you probably can imagine what path they're talking about. You do well in school, you go university, you get a job, you move up the corporate ladder, then maybe one day you'll get to like 40, 50k, and then you get a salary and you do a job hop and you're like at 50, 60k, and that's a good life. They've quite literally been raised seeing this. And maybe they even have some regrets. Maybe they weren't able to go down that path themselves. Like, my parents, they're immigrants. Like, they're the first generation that came to UK. I'm Bengali. So my parents went from Bangladesh and came to the UK to live a new life. And the whole main reason that Asian parents come to a new country is like, you want to give your kids a better life. So when they hear that I've dedicated my life to this kid, and now he's just come to me and said, Mom, I promise I can make more money by sitting on my laptop and just sitting at home like a bum. Like, I promise I can make more money like that. Uni's not like actually gonna work for me. They're probably thinking that you're lying, right? Because in all honesty, if you think about it, right, just think about what editing looks like to them. You were probably like me, where you used to play games and stuff. Like, you were a big video gamer. Like, I used to be addicted to Fortnite, bro. My daily routine was literally like, wake up, play Fortnite, go to school, like barely get ready. Like, I'd fucking barely wash my face and stuff. I'd go to school and then come back home, play Fortnite, go bed, basically dream about Fortnite, and do the same thing tomorrow. Like, my daily routine was based around video games. And your parents probably shouted at you just like mine did. Like, they'd say, you're playing video games all day, all you do is Fortnite. Like, they'd say these things. So when you're editing, just think about what it looks like. To them, all it looks like is you're still playing games. It's the same desk that you're sitting at, the same like computer, PC, Mac, whatever you're working on. It's the same thing that you're actually doing. To them, you playing video games and you starting an entire business, even if you were making tens of thousands, they don't see the difference in that. Tell someone from 50 years ago that some random kid, an 18-year-old, is going to be making more money than his parents while sitting from home and clicking a few buttons. They'd think it's like some fucking witchcraft. So when you're trying to convince your parents that this editing thing has potential, you gotta realize that you're trying to break through quite literally decades of like conditioning and limiting beliefs that they've been told. Limiting beliefs are basically ideas that you hold, things that you think are true about the world that might not be true and in a lot of cases hold you back. So it's things like you saying, oh, there's not enough high paying clients out there. Oh, my PC is too bad. It's you saying that I'm sure that like editing is really hard to get into. Oh, business is hard. You saying that, oh, I'm lazy and that's why you stop working so hard. It's like, these are limiting beliefs that we put onto ourselves, which may or may not be true, but either way, they do not serve us. Even me speaking to you, a lot of the videos, the way I teach is by breaking limiting beliefs. Like, limiting beliefs, as you get more into business and mindsets, you realize how important mindset and limiting beliefs are. So me talking to you is breaking your limiting beliefs. So you've been taught this certain way of thinking for maybe a year, 2 years. Your friends tell you that, oh, you have to do SMMA. I heard dropshipping's good, but it's like, I'm telling you from experience that this thing works, this thing sometimes doesn't, this thing I have more expertise in, I can teach you. So I'm teaching you my limiting beliefs, and quite generally it's easier for me to break your limiting beliefs because you've only held them for maybe 18 years, 16 years, 15 years, 20 years, however old you are. You've only held those beliefs for that many years. Compare that to your parents. They have been fed a belief system which does not serve them because clearly if they don't have what you want, which is sad to say, but if they do not work in a way that you want, if they don't enjoy their work, if they haven't achieved that financial freedom that you're looking for, whatever beliefs they hold have not served them. And that sounds really fucked up to say, but it's the truth. And they've had these limiting beliefs for decades, 30, 40, 50 years. So imagine how much harder it will be for us to convince them that, yeah, this whole internet thing, you know, that same platform I used to use to play Fortnite, like, yeah, people are retiring their entire family because of it. At the end of the day, your parents just want you to be safe, bro. Like, I promise you, I'm getting older, so I'm seeing it more from my parents' side now. Like, I've had conversations like this, like, why did you used to hate me editing so much? Like, now I'm making money, like, I'm genuinely curious. And they said, like, oh, I just want you to be safe. Like, I want you to be able to, like, when you get, like, married, like, you have wife and kids, like, you should be able to take care of them. And even, like, for yourself, just, you should be able to, like, buy your own food and stuff like that. So for you trying to get into editing now, you trying to convince your parents that it can be a full-time thing, I'll be completely honest, you trying to use words will not help. That conditioning that they've been through, those limiting beliefs that they have, you are not qualified, you are not equipped to be like the #1 coach in the world. If you haven't learned about like limiting beliefs and coaching and stuff, you probably aren't going to be able to break their limiting beliefs. So words are not going to help here. there's literally only one way that I found that you can do this. And you gotta bear in mind, I've helped hundreds of video editors have these conversations with their parents, and not a single time have one of these conversations worked. Do you wanna know what works? If you wanna convince your parents that editing is the way you wanna go, you need to bring undeniable evidence. You need to do something that gives them no other way to deny that editing is a real job. Like, I think the first time my family really took what I'm doing seriously, it was in college. So I'm 17 years old, I'm turning 18 in a month, and my dad's dropping me off to college. So we're in the college car park, and he's about to drop me off. And throughout this car ride, while we were going from home to college, we were talking about like business and how my business is going. So my life is basically just business and like gym. So that's basically what I enjoy. And I'm talking to my dad about the work I do. Honestly, I don't like talking about business a lot with my dad, but this one day I did it, and by the end of the college ride, I'm about to leave, but he says sit down for a bit. He's talking to me about how this whole business thing isn't sustainable, how it's not like going to have much money in it. This editing thing, honestly, it's like, it's a bit dodgy. Like, be careful. Like, you don't know who's gonna pay you, you don't know who's out there, like things like that. Now, I'm already like 2 years into editing at this point, so I've heard these conversations hundreds and hundreds of times, so I'm ready to block it out. But then he said that there's no money in it, and just as I'm about to leave, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, no, wait, no, that's where you're wrong. It was December 2022, and I showed my dad my phone. On that phone was a Google Sheets file. So Google Sheets is like where you can have spreadsheets and stuff, and there was a certain file called Income 2022. As you can imagine, it's where I track how much I make per month, and you've got January, February, March, all the way down to December. And now he's looking at the summary for this month. £10,800. If you're not from the UK, that's around, I think, $12,500–13,000. Now, my dad didn't understand what I was showing him. He literally just asked like, oh, what is that? And I'm telling him that that's how much I've made this month. My dad seemed confused because honestly, you see money almost like a number. Like, it's almost like a score. Like, business is the game, money is the score. So we don't really see money as real money anymore. But to my parents, first generation coming to the UK, born in like and raised in a poor country, Bangladesh. Like, my dad came to the country and he didn't have like a degree, and it's like all his life he's been doing these jobs. Like, okay, he works at restaurants, he'll do like taxi stuff. For my dad to see I just made £10,000 in a single month, he asked if it was illegal for what I'm doing, because he heard I was doing this work thing at home. Like, oh, Sayeef is always in his room, he says he's working, but like, I don't actually know what he's doing. He genuinely asked if what I was doing was illegal. That is how out of reach it was for my family to be seeing this sort of money. And then he sees me do it the next month, and then the month after. And it's at this point that he's starting to realize that I'm no longer lying about how much I'm making. He thought I was lying, or he had like these suspicions, but he's realizing this editing thing that he used to do when he was 15, 16 years old, when he used to make Fortnite videos, suddenly it's a real deal. Because when there's cold, hard cash in front of them, how can anyone say that this isn't a real job? When you're making more money in a single month than most people your age make in an entire year, in over 12 months, they make a certain amount and you make that in 30 days, how can anyone say that it's not a real job? The only way that I've found that you can truly convince your parents, or in fact, convince anyone that doubts that editing is a real thing, is by bringing them undeniable evidence, by having cold, hard cash with what you do. It's not that you convince your parents and then you go full-time editing. You need to just do it first. Because I think a lot of the time the reason editors say, oh, I can't scale my editing because my mom says that I can't. My mom says I have to go uni. It's like, of course she doesn't want you to edit, because you go about it like such a bitch. Are you waiting for permission for your parents to say, okay, you can go edit, and now you suddenly make tens of thousands? That's not how it works. Like, stop being such a pussy about it. Like, stop asking for permission for you to start doing this thing and taking it seriously. It's like, you know, when people ask me, like, so because in my friend group, like, I'm basically the only one that has a business. That's not like a weird ego thing. It's just true. Like, for my age, I do a lot more than most people. And I have people asking me, oh, should I start a business? I think I should start this YouTube channel. I think I should start this thing. And it's like, why are you asking me for permission? Why does me saying, yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't, determine anything? You know deep down that it's best for you if you start it. Why have you not started it without permission? Stop being a bitch and waiting for permission. The reason these people ask for permission, the reason they ask, oh, I wish my parents would let me do it full time, it's like, your mom saying yes or no isn't going to change whether you're getting clients or not. The reason you're asking is because you're scared that you're not going to make it as an editor. If you're being honest, if you had the humility to say it, you're scared that it's going to be harder. You know that getting clients is hard for most people. You see most editors fail. And so that you can cope, so that you can say, oh, at least I tried. See, I tried, but it wasn't me that failed. It's like, you tried putting that blame onto your parents. So at least now you have the excuse when people ask, why do you not make money editing? When you see other editors making a shit ton more money, when you see them on Twitter and they're getting these huge clients, at least you can tell yourself, you can sleep at night saying that, oh, that would have been me, but my mom says I couldn't. It's like, at least I tried. Like, man the fuck up and tell yourself, like, nah, I'm gonna take responsibility. Because if you want your parents to actually take your editing thing seriously, how are they gonna take it seriously when you can't take it seriously yourself? When you tell yourself that you're gonna edit on the side, oh, I just want to make a couple $100. If I'm making 1K a month, I'll be fine. Like, I just want a few clients. It's like, you set these tiny goals. So when you tell your parents that, oh, I just want to do this thing, or when they even hear you talk about it, do you expect them to think that, oh yeah, my son is safe, yeah, he's gonna be able to like provide for his family when he's older, when he's getting married, like, yeah, he'll be able to take care of his wife, like, he'll be able to take care of himself when I like pass away, which of course horrible to think about when I pass, but your parents do think this, like, when I pass away, yeah, my son can take care of himself. When you're saying that if I make $500 a month, I'll be happy, do you think your parents feel good about that? Like, they're gonna think like, oh no, I'm not letting my kid go down this dangerous path, like, he's going to have to get a normal job. So it's like, you started this editing thing, you're watching my videos, if you're this far into the video, I don't know how long this is gonna be, but my videos are kind of just like unscripted and I just talk about whatever. So if you're watching this, you're probably already into editing and you're probably quite serious about it. You know deep down, if I offered you a shit ton of money to edit videos that you love with people that you like and deadlines on your terms, everything from the comfort of your own home, you would take it. So don't pussy out and be like, oh, I'm just doing it on the side. Please, if you're gonna follow me, don't be a bitch about it. And I'm saying this out of love because I was the kid when I used to edit Fortnite videos, when I was making videos for $15 a video and I'd take like 2 whole days on it. I was the guy that was making $400 a month saying that I'm happy with this because I'm keeping it on the side. If I make 400 a month, if I even get 1K a month, I'll be happy. You want to know when I made the most progress, when I scaled to even like 7-8K a month? It was when I finally like grabbed myself by the fucking balls and told myself like, nah, I am going to actually make this a thing. I no longer have an option. I tell myself that, oh, I don't want to go uni, I want to prove my parents wrong. I tell myself that I want to take it seriously, but then at the same time I'm being a bitch and saying that, oh, I'm happy if it's just on the side because deep down I'm scared. Your ego's gonna tell you that it's not out of fear, but if we're being honest, if you would take the opportunity to make over 10K a month from editing and you know that you would do that, and you're now also telling yourself that you want to do it as a side, those two things cannot be happening at the same time. It's because you're scared. So drop your ego. The reason that you've been saying that you're going to keep it on the side, or if you have said it in the past, it's because you were scared. So tell yourself now, I am going to set the goal to make a fuck ton of money from editing. I'm going to make 5 to 10K a month from editing, probably a little bit more, because when you set yourself tiny goals, first of all, you're not going to be motivated by it. 500 a month is not life-changing money, okay? If you're from a poor country, fair enough, it's like, oh, that's minimum wage, whatever. Like, it's not life-changing. It's not something you'll wake up and you're thinking like, I'm gonna make this editing thing work, because you know that if you just got a normal job, you'd make the same amount. And the second reason is that when you set yourself goals, you've got to understand that it's completely normal. Like, we're ambitious guys, it's normal for you to fall below your goals. So it's like, I want to make this much money and you'll make less usually, and that's okay. Like, that's normal. We don't achieve every single goal. Of course we drive towards them, we work hard, but it's normal that sometimes we don't reach our goals. You wanted an A star, you got an A. You wanted a B, you got a C. The worst thing you can do is set such a tiny goal that if you do achieve it, it's basically worthless, and in the likely scenario you get slightly less, it's even more worthless. Like, if you set yourself the huge goal of, okay, 10K a month, that's like the magical number that everyone talks about. Let's say you set yourself the goal of 10K a month and you get less than halfway there, you're making 4K a month. 4K a month, that's still a good amount, especially for your age, bro. Like, we talk about these numbers, 4K doesn't seem crazy, but when you think about it, 4K is more than most people in your country, like even adults. So it's like, you start with setting yourself like these fucking big goals. Don't bitch yourself out. Like, tell yourself like, yeah, I'm gonna try it. It's hard. It's not like this one AI tool is gonna solve it for me. Don't listen to those retards that try teaching you that. It is hard and I can help you there, but I can only help you if you at least like acknowledge the fact that you want it. I can't help someone that doesn't know that what they want. So tell yourself now, like, yeah, I want to make a lot of money from editing. You will know your goals are big enough when people around you tell you that you can't. Of course, this isn't me telling you, oh, set your goal to 1 million a month within your first year of business. That's not what I'm saying. But it's having your goals which are what I like to call reasonably unreasonable. It's when it is like unreasonable. It is kind of hard. Like, it is a lot of life-changing money. If you probably have to work at it for a couple of years to get there. But at the same time, if you did the work, it's completely reasonable that you do achieve it. It's like, yeah, to work with a guy with 20-30 million subscribers, to get paid 1,000 per video, that's pretty unreasonable. Like, it's really hard. But if I worked on my editing, if I worked on my branding, if I worked on my workflow, if I worked on getting better at faster at deadlines, if I worked on my psychology and like communication, yeah, it's reasonable that I could do it as well. There's another editor that's doing it, like Malice does it. Yeah, if I was as good as Malice, that's not even like a weird ego thing, but if I picked up the same skills, yeah, I could do it as well. Like, let me tell you a story. So I was 17 years old, early 17 years old. I'm in first year college and I'm in the library sitting with a friend. Now, something I like to do with people that I meet is I have a lot deeper conversations straight off the bat. I'm more than willing, like you probably can tell through these videos, I'll tell you about when my dad fucking beat me. I'll tell you about my childhood trauma and shit, bro. Like, I'll talk about girls and stuff. It's like, I'll be very open in conversations and people usually like that and they reciprocate. And we were talking about our long-term goals in terms of like life and just like family and like just whatever. We're talking about long-term goals. So I'm sitting next to this guy, we're in the library, we're talking, and he tells me that he wants to go down an apprenticeship. So I think it was like computer science and stuff. He's telling me all of these things, and I'm not someone that, don't get me wrong, I don't like the education system. I don't like further education, things like that. But if you want to do it, that's cool. Like, apprenticeships is when you like work and you get paid at the same time, but you study at the same time. Like, if you want to do it, that's cool. I'm not against it. It's just that for me personally, I would never want to work a 9 to 5. I'd wait for him to finish, and when it comes to my turn, I'm telling him like, yeah, I've been doing this editing thing for a while, so he knew I edited, and I genuinely want to take it like really far. I want to be making genuinely like 6 figures like a year. Like, I want to be saying that this is my thing. And now he's telling me like, oh yeah, that's a good goal to have. Like, he was quite ambitious as well, and he asked me, when do you want to achieve your goal by? Now I kind of looked at him and I stared at him for a bit, because I'll be honest, I haven't thought about this before. I set myself a huge goal, but I never set myself like a time frame. So I take a minute and I'm like, okay, so the average person, let's say they reach their like the stride in their career maybe around 26, 27, but I'm kind of ambitious, I'm willing to work. Let's say by 22, 23, I see like motherfuckers like Iman, like these motherfuckers make bare bank when they're younger, and I'm going earlier and earlier, and I'm thinking like, okay, if I work really hard, 6 figures, and I ask him, because I'm not sure, I'm like, bro, do you think that like by the end of being 18, so by 18 years old, I could be making 6 figures? Like, I'll be making 100k a year by 18. Bear in mind, I'm 17 years old at the time, so this is me saying within like basically 1.5 years, I want to be making 6 figures. He just like laughs. He literally said to me, bro, I'm sorry, like I know I believe in you, but like I'm sorry, but you gotta be realistic. And now I plucked this number 18 out of nowhere, right? Like, I literally just plucked it out of nowhere. I just thought of it. But the fact that this motherfucker told me that he didn't believe in me, now I actually want to get it by 18. So I literally looked at him and I was like, you know what, bro? The fact that you said that, watch. I promise you, watch. I was going through my like Stripe and PayPal accounts a couple of days ago. So this was literally maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and I went over it again yesterday with my mom. And I was kind of just reminiscing because I was thinking of this story. I was counting up all the money I've made over the last few years, and I've made like, fuck me. Like, even like talking about it now, bro. I told this guy to watch and I fucking did it. I'll be honest, I don't speak to him much anymore. And I think that I've grown to a point where I'm no longer willing to be in conversations with people that don't support me. And that's not like a weird like, oh, hater thing. I don't think he hates me. I know he doesn't hate me. I'm fucking hoping not. If you're watching this, bro, I'm like, hope you don't hate me. I love you still. But the path you're on right now, like to you watching right now, bro, the path you're on is different to most people. Like, you're trying to achieve a lot more than most people do, not only your age or within like the next few years, but quite literally throughout their lives. Most people never see the amount of money we're talking about. They'll go down at 9 to 5, they'll work every single day, they'll jump jobs, and then they'll try ask for a pay raise and get rejected, and get a pay raise here, and then it's like trying to manage this. And most people get to like what's a good salary, like 40-50k. I remember when I was younger, I used to say like 60k would be an insane salary. You're already on a different path to most people, and you gotta realize like the people you surround yourself with will change how you see the world. If you chill with people that constantly put you down and you allow their beliefs to like seep into your mind, that's when you start telling yourself these things of like, oh, I'm just gonna keep it on the side, editing isn't for me. Like, the reason you tell yourself these things isn't because you actually want it on the side, it's because you're scared of looking stupid in front of these people that told you to be realistic. It's so strange to me how, I'm hoping you watching this, like, you fucking love me, bro. Like, I genuinely, like, I journal a lot about the people that watch my videos and the editors that I help, and I genuinely want the best for you. And it's so cool how I have editors that tell me as well, where it's like, oh, Sayeef, like Malice, like, you grow as well so much, like, it's awesome how you're building this thing, like, you're selling stuff, and it's like, you're making money, and that's so cool, like, you're growing so much as an entrepreneur. And I find it so strange how some random guy on the internet can support me and have bigger dreams for me than the people that were supposed to be closest to me. How strange is it that your biggest haters, not haters, I hate the word haters, that makes me sound cringe. How strange is it that the people that tell you to be realistic are the people that conventionally you would think would have the biggest goals and like vision for you? It'll be your parents, the people like childhood friends, it'll be people that you grew up with. How strange is that? Like, I think a lot of my motivation came from me wanting to prove people wrong, and that sounds weird. It's like, it's nice to say that, oh, I did it for myself, and we're kind of going on, we're going like fucking, we're just talking about whatever now, but I hope you boys like conversations like these. A lot of what I did was out of resentment for my parents. When I first told my family about my business, so when I first got paid that $2.50 for a video, the PayPal PayPal notification came through, and I actually hadn't told my parents that I edit before. Like, I didn't even tell them that like I was considering doing paid work. And because I'm Asian, it's like my path was basically already set out for me. Uni, get a job, go up corporate ladder, work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. It was basically laid out for me, and I was shit scared to tell my parents, so I didn't know how to. So, and honestly, I bitched out. So what I did was, my mum and dad were in the same room together, and I was gonna tell them, but I was too scared to tell them both at the same time because I thought my dad would like fucking shout at me, innit? Because he already shouts at me for like playing Fortnite all day. So I wait for my dad to go into the bathroom, because my dad, like, he said from before he needed to go like piss in it. So he went to the bathroom, and I tell my mom, like, I knew I had to have the conversation quickly before my dad came out, and I tell my mom, if I tell you something, promise me you're not gonna shout at me. And she's telling me, like, being comforting, she's saying she won't, and she can trust, I can trust her. It takes me like 2-3 minutes. I'm like, no mom, I don't trust you, I think you're gonna shout. And it takes me a few minutes, but I tell her like slowly. I still remember how I said it. It was like, I think I want to start a business. And my mom was confused because obviously Asian family, like, we're very traditional. Mom doesn't understand too much about what I'm talking about. I tell her like, oh yeah, you know that editing thing, like how I edit my own Fortnite videos, I want to edit it for other people, and this guy just paid me. I show her the notification, so I show her the PayPal, the $2.50 that just went through, and she was confused. She was like, okay, but like, why would this guy pay you? Like, he could edit his own videos. Like, why would someone pay you to edit gaming videos? That's so useless. Like, why would people pay you real money? And I was like, no, but it's like, I'm good at editing. I wasn't good at editing at the time, but relatively for the Fortnite community, I was okay. So I'm explaining like the way I edit my own videos. Now someone else is letting me. Now she's like, okay, whatever you do, just as long as it's legal, continue doing what you want. And I'm walking out of the room. So now I'm in the passage, like the main like connecting room. What do you call it? I think it's just called a passage, even like other areas of the world. And my sister's coming out of her room as well. So now me and my sister meet, and she asked what me and mom were talking about because she overheard. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, now I need to have this awkward conversation where I don't want to say I'm starting a business. And I tell her like slowly, and my mom comes out of her room, and now all three of us are in the passage. So we run through the whole conversation again. For fuck's sake, I have to explain this whole like Fortnite thing, and like, oh yeah, people do pay for videos. It's like $2.50. It's like, yeah, people pay that. And she's like, okay, cool. Just make sure you focus on school. And my mom was like, yeah, fair enough. And they both asked like, okay, what are your goals with this? Now, literally like a couple of hours ago, before I got this payment, I didn't even know motherfuckers were paying for videos. So I had to think of like, okay, what are my goals? I had to answer this question. So I think of like the biggest number that I could think of. I tell them that, okay, by the end of me being 18, I want to have £5,000 in my savings. So I specifically told them that doesn't mean like, oh, 5,000 in total, where it's like, oh, you made some, you spent some, like 5,000 in your savings. My sister literally like burst out in laughter. Now I've got the people that I held closest to my heart. One of them just laughed at me saying that I have that goal, and my mom's like holding back a smile. Now of course I'm only like 15, 16 at the time, so it's not like I'm gonna say like, you hater, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like, it wasn't some cringe like fucking anime like main character type shit. Like, I kind of like laughed along as well. I was like, haha, like, yeah, like that is kind of unrealistic, but I just want to try it. Like, I kind of like small dick myself. Like, I bitched out my goals like a lot of people do, but deep down, like, I fucking hated them for that. Even like for the next year or so, like when I was getting clients, when I was working on videos, when I'd be late up at night thinking like, oh shit, I want to sleep, like I can't be asked getting these videos done, this is stressful. There was one thought that would stay in my mind. That thought was me imagining me having to go to my parents in a few years from now, like a little bitch with like my fucking tail between my legs, telling them like, mom, sister, dad, I'm sorry I tried a business, and like, I know I should have listened to you, it failed. I'll go to uni. There was nothing that made me more scared than having to go through that embarrassment. I don't say this out of ego, but I say it purely as like a maths thing, like a statistics thing. I make more money than my entire family combined. And of course, it's like, I'm from a lower income household, so the bar was set kind of low. I couldn't afford a fucking PC when I started. I started on like me editing Fortnite keyboard and mouse on PS4 videos. So I wanted to play keyboard and mouse on Fortnite, but I couldn't afford a PC or even like a laptop. So I'd fucking connect it like to my PS4 and start playing. And I made videos on that because I couldn't afford a PC. The first laptop I edited on was like this shitty laptop with like no GPU, there's some shitty CPU, couple $100, and it was just like for schoolwork. And that's when I said like, I'd alt tab to my Premiere. Like, it'd be so laggy as shit. Like, there were times where I'd get caught alt tabbing because my laptop was so slow that I would alt tab and it'd take like fucking 15 seconds to load, and my dad would catch me. Instead of doing homework, I'd be editing. And it's like, from that point, I've fucking grown myself to the point where I'm sitting now at my dream setup. This PC that I've built, maybe I'll have a picture, maybe I won't. Like, I don't know if my editor decides to put B-roll, maybe he'll put B-roll. But this PC that I've built is like, okay, I think it's like $3,000 or $4,000, or like, I don't even know how much I spent on it. Do you want me to be completely honest? I literally went onto Amazon and I bought the best parts that I could find that were in the color white. It's like an RTX 3080 Ryzen, like one of the best Ryzen CPUs, and like white and black. And it's like, I bought it just because I had a shit ton of money and it was my childhood dream. I would watch these videos on YouTube, you know, those like, oh, top 10 gaming setups, top 10 like minimal setups, and it's like these guys that are like 18 years old that have like fucking rich parents, and it's like their parents have bought this crazy setup, and I was here on my shitty shitty laptop or like my PS4 playing Fortnite, bro. I was jealous as shit. And I don't think I would have achieved any of what I have now if my parents supported me or if they gave me the money to buy my PC and stuff. Because in a weird way, just hear me out, right? The only reason I wanted to do so good in editing, the reason like I bought my first PC, it was £1,000, so like $1,200. That was my first proper PC, and I bought it myself. The reason that I got that PC within 5 months, so literally I started editing and within 5 months I made my first K. Now that I'm saying that out loud, that sounds kind of shit, but it took me 5 months of grinding. You can scroll down on my Twitter. You can literally, if you scroll down far enough my Twitter, you can see my progression. You can see the day I bought my PC. So you know I'm not lying. The only reason I was able to buy that PC and I had the drive to actually make it in editing, first of all, to prove my parents wrong. I'll be completely honest. Prove my parents wrong. But the second reason, if I wanted a PC, bro, my parents aren't fucking buying it. Like, I couldn't afford it. And it's not even because my dad didn't want to buy it. It's not like my dad was abusive or some shit. Like, he wanted to buy me stuff. Like, if I wanted something, he would want to buy it. But we just couldn't because it's like we had bills to pay. Dad's struggling with these bills. Dad's working like 2-3 jobs at a time. So me coming from like a lower income household, my parents not supporting me is the only reason you today are watching a video from me and I'm teaching you how I made it. I hate the word made it. I made it in editing. I've worked with the largest creators possible. It's like now I'm on to the next stage of my entrepreneurship journey, but I'm basically teaching how I scaled to like that. I think my best month was like 13K. I know how to get to that point consistently and I help editors do that. You right now might not have the most supportive parents. You might not have your friends that think you can do it. You might not have people that think you can. In a weird way, that might be the only reason why you do make it. Because from now you have 2 options. You either listen to them and you take on what they say and then you bitch out of your goals and you say you want to do it on the side and you go through further education and you do your 9 to 5 like everyone else. And you, for the rest of your life, you'll have to be on your deathbed having that question of what if? What if that editing thing worked? What if that business thing worked? You're gonna have to live with that regret. Or the second option is you listen to these people. Oh, editing's not a real job. You're not gonna be able to make it. You're not hardworking enough. It's like, just play it safe. Things like that. You can listen to it and you can stick your fucking middle finger up at them and say, fuck you. I have bigger goals for myself. And just because someone else can't do it, of course, not every editor's gonna make it. Most people aren't cut out for it. But you watching this right now, don't bitch out and be like, that's not you. If you set yourself the goal, you need to start with setting yourself the goal, and your parents will trust you more once you make the money. Stop relying on your parents for permission to start pursuing this thing. You need to pursue it anyways. This thing you're looking at right now, if you started editing, you need to realize how good the opportunity that you have in front of you is. Like, you getting into editing, you don't realize how lucky you are even if you've just started. In front of you is the roadmap to genuinely make more money than you know what to do with. I've gotten to the point now where I can like financially support my people. I can help my parents pay bills. I can like do whatever I want with my day. You have the same potential. Don't throw it away. This isn't me saying it's going to be easy. This isn't me saying that here's the top 5 AI tools and the top 4-step process to make $5 billion as an editor. It's like, I'm not one of those shit. I'm going to tell you how it is. So if you want that, you can join us. You can keep listening to me. I'll guide you through that journey I've been on. I can tell you how I went from doing editing as a hobby and like basically fucking hating my life, honestly, like to becoming someone who's achieved that dream that so many editors dream of. I want to get you to that point so you can like do all the YouTube shit now. Like, you can subscribe, like you do the notification shit. Like, I'll have more videos like these come out and I'll have like a video here. It'll pop up. It'll be like here. So watch that. But yeah, just go for my channel. I think you'll like the videos. If you watched all of this, you fuck with me. Like, you don't watch videos like these, bro. I've been ranting, man. Like, you don't watch videos about a guy talking about childhood trauma and not liking. So go watch my other fucking videos, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey going, bro. Love you. Mwah.